I threw you off with that one, didn't I?
I know. All of a sudden, the little origami dog comes in. I'm like, oh, puppy!
And Juno's like, hey.
And then it barked, and Juno came from around my chair. And it's like her ears are up, and it's like, ooh, puppy!
Hello, Dana. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Jason. Hello, John. Hello, Amanda. It is good to see you all here this evening, because guess what? It is Monday. It is 8 o'clock. And if it's Monday at 8 o'clock, then it is Mighty Monkeys Nerd World News. And I am your host, Aegon, sixth of his name, leader of the end, or whatever the hell it is from Game of Thrones. And with me, as always, is
Daenerys.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I gotta get long.
Because Aegon, sixth of his name was actually Jon Snow.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I haven't finished the series, so
well, here's the thing. Game of Thrones is...
Don't get attached to any character.
Don't get attached to any characters, but you can really kind of just skim season 7 and 8 because the showrunners gave up on the show, you could tell.
Well, yeah, because they were waiting for George R. R. Martin to finish the story, but he was waiting for them to finish the story.
The showrunners of Game of Thrones had been offered a Star Wars trilogy. So they wanted to rush through Game of Thrones so they can get to their Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, Emilia Clarke. Yeah.
But they bombed 7 and 8 so badly that Lucasfilm turned around and said, you know what, guys? You really aren't into this. We're not doing that anymore.
Okay, Vicky, Greg.
Vicky's here. Marcy's here. Dana, can I just tell you how much I love monkeys in general? That is fantastic. We appreciate that. So does our mascot, Simi Ann Henseltail. That's that's the mighty monkey that you see in our logo.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Simi was a creation. When did I come up with her? About 4 years ago now? 3-4 years ago? Something like that. And so Simi is our mascot. That's the mighty monkey herself. As a matter of fact, here, hang on a second. There she is, right there. That's Simi. Okay. I had this whole 8-page background for this child. She's 12 years old.
Now she's 16.
She should be about 16 now at this point. Yeah. So that means Simi's learning how to drive, which is a frightening idea. But yes, as I mentioned, her last name is Henseltail, which means her favorite adult to go to would be her grandmother pre-Henseltail. Anyway, moving on. All right. I love that joke, no matter how many times I tell it, but it's so terrible. I acknowledge that ahead of time. It's terrible. Yeah. Hi, Chrissy. How you doing? Does she change over the years? Well, she really hasn't in terms of her visuals.
It's kind of like Curious George.
Yes.
You know that Curious George has been on forever, but he never gets older.
Did you see this one, Ashley?
She's cute.
She's cute. You know, as cute as Juno. That was basically it.
Oh.
All right, come here. There's been a puppy sighting request. Come here, baby girl. Come here. Yes, I know. Ready?
Oh, she's like, oh, again.
Ah, boom.
Oh.
And there's a June bug.
Look at this way.
Look. No, I'd rather make out with Daddy.
This way.
Here, look, baby.
Look.
Hi, Ashley.
Say hi.
How you doing,
Say
Ashley?
Hi.
And there she is, the Juno.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Juno, the Wonder Dog. You're not having issues. You're nice today.
Well, when I went to get my hair done last week, my hairdresser said that this is the in-between stage.
Yes.
So I'm wanting to grow it out, and it's not necessary. It's too long for bangs, but it's too short to really go into the side yet.
But it's looking lovely.
Oh, thank you. So I was trying to figure out how to. I have never had hair where I didn't have bangs.
And that's the show right there, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next. No, wait. Never mind. Wigs. Melanie's talking about it. You're doing wigs.
Yeah.
All right. So we wanted to do a quick sci-fi chat. An article was released over the weekend. Star Trek's Deanna Troi actor calls for more Star Trek TNG spin-offs. That would be Marina Sirtis, which, Deanna and I were talking about.
She's beautiful.
Oh, she has aged really, really well. She's a wonderful woman. But she's urging supporters for more Star Trek Next Generation spin-offs. She appeared in the franchise from the beginning back in 1987 when Next Generation first hit the airwaves. And she has been there for every step of the way, every season, every movie that the Next Generation cast has been involved in. She's even done crossovers with Enterprise, which is a questionable story at best, but still she was cool to see her. She's been in Voyager. She has been in Deep Space Nine. She has popped up all over the place. She is back in Picard seasons. She was in season 1. She'll be back in season 3, which will be coming out very, very soon. And I thought it was kind of interesting to talk about that because Star Trek has this opportunity to. Do you mind, Junebug? No? You know, squeaky toys.
Mm,
All right.
It's a duck.
During broadcast, even come on, woman. It would give Star Trek. I mean, they've already been building this cinematic universe of their own over the past 50 years, but now it gives them an even bigger opportunity with Paramount Plus series. You know, with Picard, with Discovery, with Strange New Worlds. You could do so much, especially with Deanna. With Deanna Troy character, she could
You were talking
have
about
these series all of her own. And I think that's, the one thing people are missing about the MCU with the TV shows of the MCU is that a lot of the casual fans are looking at, well, where's the big comic book fight scenes? Where's the big blow-ups, the explosions? Where's the superpowers, all that stuff? But they're getting that interlaced with WandaVision, which does a great dive into grief. Captain America or the Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that puts racism in play. And with She-Hulk is your simple screwball comedy, and it breaks the fourth wall because She-Hulk, the comic book, does, and it also touches on some very important issues that women have to face in the world, and people just kind of glanced it over there. Oh, it's a mediocre series. You're missing the point with that one. But I'm thinking, that would be great. I mean, with Star Trek, they could do so much more in terms of just the Strange New Worlds Planet of the Week kind of thing. They could, have Deanna talking to survivors of the Dominion War. She can, talk about military PTSD that way. You could have an Earth-based show to talk about how the Federation has been evolving, or there's so many different ways to kind of address that. So a TNG cinematic universe of sorts, I think that'd be an amazing idea in the long shot. Spinoffs, absolutely, I love it. Elizabeth Rice freaking loved the She-Hulk finale. I did too. I thought it was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Jury's still out for me. I enjoyed it, but I was like,
You know what's funny is you were really dead set against it, and then you heard Hunter and I liked it, and you're like, well, maybe I'll give it a second thought. You've softened up your opinion. Now you haven't gone all the way to I liked it, but you definitely have been. You have not been as like I don't. It
was.
I thought that was cute. Let's see, and Ashley says, when it comes to sci-fi, literally anything is possible. And I think that is something that we have missed so much. We're so used to sci-fi being kind of this. So when something blows our mind, our first guess is to automatically kind of go, I don't like it, instead of sitting back and thinking about it. Doctor Who has been slaughtered for that. I mean, Jodie Whittaker as an actress has been amazing. Her 13th Doctor has been a lot of fun to watch in action. She was not served well with the writing, but she did a great job, and it brought out some new ideas for the Doctor Who universe, and people were like, it's not the monster of the week. Where are my bug-eyed monsters? I don't like it. And that was like, come on, dude, really? Seriously? That's a thing. Peter likes Lower Decks. I am 50-50 on Lower Decks myself. There are some episodes I really enjoyed. There's some others I'm like, really? But and again, not for everybody, and not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's perfectly cool. I love that. Elizabeth goes on to see a picture of the regeneration leaked online, so either avoid it or seek it out depending on what you want. Well, I'm sure we're going to see that soon enough, because that's the 13th Doctor's regeneration is on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. October 23rd, and that is coming up this weekend, it looks like. I think so. So, all right. Nope, it's going to make me sob. Yeah, Melanie, you and me both. So what now? We have, so off the soapbox I shall step, and letting this beautiful lady to my left take over, because it is now time. Are you done?
No, I was trying to scroll
I'm
through.
vamping like a mother right now to try and give you some time.
That's okay. I was trying to
That's
scroll.
a cute picture of you and Anne. I like that one.
That one?
Yeah, that's a cute picture of you.
I think we were. Oh, it was Superhero Weekend.
Superhero Weekend?
On March 8th, 2020, the day before the day that we got the news about my pre-adoption birth certificate.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
No, I was trying to find my picture of me done up as Counselor Troy. There it is. There it is.
Then she'll post that later to the Facebook. So
I have to thank Ariel for making the dress for me, or the jacket for me. She was awesome and amazing. So I had to find that. So now that I have that, comics for this week.
Let's do the thing. Comic Chicken.
The first one is Catwoman number 48, Furious Hearts, part 1 of 3. Don't you just hate it when your current and former lovers meet accidentally?
Whoops.
Problem. I seem to have recalled that in a book I was reading today.
Uh-oh.
That's definitely the case here for Catwoman as Velma and Batman cross paths. Is Batman jealous or just concerned that Selina is dating an international criminal who's also a murderer? There are some lines you just don't cross, Cat, and not all attention is good intention. Dun, dun, dun. The Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 1. Wow, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Ooh, a revolutionary dark take on Spider-Man begins here. What is reality and what is a dream? What is science and what is magic? At the intersection of all this stands the Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Peter Parker goes to Los Angeles, and what he finds there are definitely not angels. The demons waiting for Peter are going to test him like never before. One demon in particular, a very famous one for Marvel, and X fans in particular, might just eat Spider-Man alive. Ooh.
Squirrel Girl. I'm calling it now.
DC versus vampires, All Out War number 4. There's a theme today.
Yep.
Ex-lovers, demons, vampires. Did you know that I was reading Susan's book today?
No, I just liked all the covers. That is your quality.
I did my quality.
This woman gave me one qualification. This one, she said, just make sure the covers are cool looking.
It is a really cool looking cover.
So there.
Yeah. All Out War Part 4, Dark Birth Part 3. With Baron Cinder and his lieutenants kept occupied by the mother of all diversions, the team attempts a daring raid on the blood farm to retrieve the one person who can bring sunlight back to the world. However, they have not reckoned on the terrifying presence of the Baron's vampire knights, familiar faces whose blades are every bit bloodthirsty as they are. And in the backup, we learn the sad fate of the King of Cities, Jack Hawksmoor.
Dun, dun, dun. And look at that. Mary Marvel being all badass. Check that out. I love that. That's so cool. All right. So there it is. That's the thing when it comes to swinging the camera back over this way a little bit. Look at this massive, expert, professional camera work. I'm so good at this.
I know. They had me at vampires too.
Yeah.
The paranormal romance books, I'm all in.
I pointed it the right direction for a change of pace
you
too.
did.
Look at that. That's my email address. That's our link tree, the entire digital experience for the Mighty Monkey Corporation, our podcasts, our website for FC3, all of the blogs that we've ever put together. It's all right there. I did it again. I got it right the second time in a row. That's so cool.
Are you quite finished?
I'm not quite finished because now I have to center the camera to make sure you can be seen too. Because guess what, guys? It's that time. None of you are really here to see Tanya and I babble on. You want us to meet somebody cool, and we found somebody cool. This is her own write-up, so I can't claim that this is just too fun for words. Susan Harris is a best-selling author from Cork, Ireland, with 20 novels, currently available and several in the works. Although Susan is known predominantly for her paranormal series, the Everchance Chronicles and the Sanguine Crown, for instance, she's not afraid to mix things up with a little dystopian drama,
Up your alley.
Shakespeare reimagining, or even contemporary romance. When she's not torturing her readers with heart-wrenching plot twists or killer cliffhangers,
No kidding.
she's probably getting some new book-related ink, bringing her latest TV or music obsession, binging on her latest TV or music obsession, or has her nose in a book. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend and apparently Tanya's cousin. We didn't know that.
I know. Cousin!
Susan Harris!
Hello.
Hello, Susan!
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being with us. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Yourselves?
It's been a good Monday for a change of pace. So, but and we've had 2 Juno sightings today so far. So, 2 better than 1.
Always good.
So let's get right into it, because when we were doing the podcast on a regular basis, and I'd be doing interviews on several occasions, I always like to remind people we're an offshoot of a comic book convention, and comic books love their origin stories. So what is Susan Harris, the author? What is that origin story? How did this all come to be where you put pen to paper for the first time, finished the first book? How long ago was that? What was that experience like?
The first kind of book that I kind of got out there published was Shattered Memories, which is my standalone dystopian. That was the one that I kind of really decided to go for it and try and get that published. It was essentially I had gone through some difficult times, and writing has always been a kind of a release for me. And my therapist at the time said to me, why don't you try and write it out in the characters and stuff like that? So I wrote Shattered Memories. So instead of torturing myself, I tortured the characters. And in that way, it was kind of helping me process things that were going on. And then I sent it out, and the wonderful people at CTP decided to take a chance on the book and publish it. And that is essentially where it started.
That's the origin right there. And how long ago was that one now?
6 years. 6 years.
6 years. So in 6 years, you've written several books. And you're just churning them out. That's amazing. I'm so jealous. I've been working on my first book for about 30 years now. So, and I think I got about halfway through it at this point. So now what's your favorite thing to write about? Oh, Melanie just snickered.
Do you want to answer that? I very much go on how can I make Melanie cry in a book?
You a liar. You want to write about werewolves.
See, I want to write about werewolves because I love werewolves as much as vampires, but Melanie won't let me, so that's kind of a way. But I love to write strong. Stop laughing. This is supposed to be serious.
Oh God, no. We are anything but serious. We're seriously weird. That's what we're serious.
Melanie won't let me.
Melanie won't let me, which is true. Because every time I mention it, I get, dogs. Dogs. Which is essentially, Tanya's read Visions of Destiny. So it's essentially, Jazz is Melanie to a T.
You know, just looking at the cover, I thought,
So I thought it would be hilarious to put Melanie with a werewolf.
Was not funny.
It's not funny, she said.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Melanie is not as fond of werewolves as you are.
No, definitely not.
Puppy.
But it's puppies.
Oh my God. Just listening, or just the quips that Jazz or Jasmine has towards the werewolf. It's like, do you have all your shots? Are you microchipped? You smell like a dog.
They are all things Melanie has said. So I just I'm that type of author, is beware of what you say, because it may be written into a book.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm absolutely all in. If I can say weird things that'll land in a Susan Harris book, I'm good with that. Now, how many books are you working on right now?
4 or 5. Do
you take copious notes? Do you have a hard time keeping track of where stories are going and how they interact with each other, or if they interact at all?
I notes all the way. I have separate notebooks for each series. I have character descriptions, all this kind of stuff. The one thing that helps me go from one book to another is the playlist. So like I do lots of playlists. They're at the back covers of every one of my books because I love music. That's one of the first things I do when I'm writing a book, is I create a playlist, and it helps me get into the mindset then of the characters, so I just can shift back and forth then.
That's cool. How many books, and now you're working on 4 right now.
Yeah.
What's the biggest number of books you were working on at the same time?
This month, yeah.
Is the 4?
It's about 4 or 5, yeah. And then I have ideas for 2 or 3 more, which is
got to be fun though, because you've got all these worlds in your head and they're just pouring out, and that you feel like you do have the ability to just kind of like, writer's block is sometimes a thing. I should know this. I made reference to a 30-year half a book. Do you get these moments where it's just stream of consciousness? You're not even paying attention. You're just typing and staring at the screen, but you're not really registering it.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, and a lot of times happens when I always said the characters won't talk to me, so I'll write something else, but then they'll be like, no, come back, I have something to say now, and all this kind of stuff. So it's like internal. I always say that there's like about 40 tabs open inside my head.
Yes.
And the music is playing somewhere, but I don't know where it's coming from. But yeah.
Right. For me, it's usually like some sort of like a commercial on and the one that I don't like for a product I'm not particularly caring for, but it's rolling around in the back of my head for reasons I can't even begin to fathom.
If I'm talking to Melanie, it's random boy band songs or Spice Girls songs.
love it. I love it. We're on with Susan Harris, author from Ireland and current temporary resident, at least, of Rochester, New York. We love having you in the neighborhood with us. She was at FC3 this year. I have questions. Tanya has questions. If you have questions, drop them into the comment section. We'll make sure to ask them. And I see the comment section is just alive tonight. I love it. When you guys got involved with Nerd World News, our comment section just decided to become its own like entity at this point. I love that very much. Let's see. So Jason is going on to say, I've noticed that Mel's husband sometimes says strange things. Tell us, for example, from the
It was from Sunday's live.
Yeah.
It was something about a talented or something, a bird that whatever it was talented.
Talented.
Yeah. And they lost it for about 5 minutes.
So I'm noticing. Right now.
That happens a lot.
Yes.
All right. So vampires, paranormal, werewolves, dystopian, which I found when I was doing the podcast, I was told that I like dystopian fiction. I did not realize that about myself. It was a learning experience. What are some subjects and some story ideas that you're kind of got in the background that might be off the beaten path for a Susan Harris novel? Is there anything that you're thinking about that like, this is not my usual bag, but I want to take a crack at this someday?
I think my contemporary romance, because I'm not predominantly known for that, I wanted to do something where I could step outside of my comfort zone, where I didn't have to go, oh, there's a plot hole, let's patch it up with some magical reason or something like that you can do with paranormal ones. So I invented the Rebel County series, but it's basically like different businesses within Cork that all the characters kind of intersect. So you have like the first series is based around a Formula One team. The second one is about a rock band. The third one then will be focusing on the tattoo shop, and then you'll have a bookshop. But all the characters are kind of all intertwined and stuff like that. But I just had the opportunity to be able to get that and create with that. But it's completely different than what I normally would do.
How's that feel? Does it feel weird when you're working on that?
He came down just to do that. And
that's phenomenal.
Nice, Greg.
That actually fits well with the theme and the feel of our show, so it works out. Now, I mean, where was I? I had a question, then Greg threw that up. Come on, Greg. Anyway, where was I?
I have a question.
Go ahead, you first.
How long is it until January?
She's totally jonesing for the next book.
I'm on book 4.
It's the end. I know it's end of January.
I think it's February.
Melanie's saying it's February. I said it's end of January, but
Melanie, you're killing me.
13th.
It's not my fault.
Is it coming out Friday the 13th?
I'm looking it up.
She's checking.
Okay.
So while I'm waiting for January, February, March,
Oh,
whatever,
January 13th.
I just purchased Shattered Memories to read.
Okay.
Oh.
Apparently that's the big one, right? That's
the one that's going to go like this, rip out your heart and things like that.
Yeah. Apparently, anyway.
It does.
All right. Now you had made reference to your publisher earlier. Did you say CTP? Did I get that right?
CTP, yeah.
Okay. Do you still do all your publishing with them still at this time? Have you gone up and done your own publishing at all?
No, completely with them. So they're the ones that publish all my books.
Okay. And in terms of relationships, I have another kind of off tangent relationship question. You know, Ireland and England are not as small as some people think they are. How on earth did you find that one? The blonde, the crazy blonde next to you there.
It was actually through CTP. So Melanie was working on submissions at the time.
Okay.
And it was through that and our friendship, it was only came on kind of after Shattered Memories, after the Everchase Chronicles started coming out, we became friends. And it just, I think it was easily from the start when we were getting used to one another, we kind of knew that we kind of had the same taste in books, not the same taste in music, but the friendship kind of blossomed from there, and I'm lucky to have her.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, you guys just meeting the both of you at FC3 this year was just a phenomenal amount of entertainment. I loved it. I'm actually getting a kick.
Would you believe that this is the first time we've ever met in real life?
Really? First time face to face?
Yeah. First time we met face to face, and she said, "Come stay with me for 3 months."
We helped make that happen.
Yeah.
No, you
I'm taking responsibility for that.
Come
All right.
here
Just come here first to do Melanie's muses, and then Veronica set up the thing with CTP, and I got to tag along.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But
All
you got
right.
the two of us then for the price of one.
That's well, I'm that's a bargain. I love it. That's paid dividends. So Susan, as a veteran author, 6 years, several books, a successful relationship with your publisher and everything. And this question is a little self-serving. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's just trying to put the story that's been rolling around in their head, putting it on paper? What are some of the tricks of the trade that you've found success in?
I think my success is just to persevere, and it's kind of to make sure that you surround yourself with good people that you can bounce ideas off of. Mel is fantastic in the way that I can say, oh, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I have this 10 series book that I need to write. This is the story, and she'll just go, no. Or yeah, that could work, and I can see how that can go. Make sure as well that you are, when you're looking to get published, that you go with a publishing company, or you go, if you're going by yourself, that you make sure that the people around you are good, and that they're hard and they're trustworthy, because there are some scrupulous people out there that will do bits and pieces. I've had bad experiences prior to CTP, so it's just kind of make sure that if your gut is telling you that it's good, go with it. If your gut is telling you it's bad, stay well away.
And Greg, you're not wrong. He goes, he's like, Chris is asking because he needs help finishing his book. Not wrong.
Do you need
everything in writing
ghostwriter with you?
No, I don't need a ghostwriter. I just need somebody to I don't know what I need, to be honest. I think I just need to sit down and start doing it.
Maybe you need to have a playlist like Susan does.
That's true. That's true.
Because isn't it like a sci-fi?
It's a sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah. So
And I should probably be reading a lot more, but I have not really sat down and hunkered in and read in ages. It's been a long time.
Three of her books within a week.
This behind me is a mere tiny fraction of the books that I actually own. But this shelf in particular over here are books that I have not read yet.
Oh, I have a not read shelf as well.
You have a not read shelf?
Yeah.
My daughter has a room that is books that she has not read yet, but there's a whole other room of ones that she has. And your books are all in there too, by the way. She purchased a few of them at FC3. She's like, I need to talk to her, but give me a minute. I need to read a couple of these books before I talk to her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I were both English majors.
Yes.
In college, I was an English literature major with education.
And that was more technical writing.
And I can't stand writing. I love to read, and I have like the stories up here, but I use the passive voice every time I write. Like when I was writing my essays for college and things like that, it was like passive. I'm just like, I never could get out of that thing. So I'm just
but you appreciate, and you're always reading something.
I'm always reading something between my Kindle or actually a book in my hand. I prefer to have a book in my hand.
And having now read a Susan Harris book,
I've read 3. Yeah. And Vicky, I am right there with you that I really hate picking up a series unless I have the whole thing, because I hate cliffhangers. But I am just like, I always will put the list. Okay, I need this next one. I need this next one. I need this next one. And then like 4 months later, I'm like, what did I need?
and the next one is coming out in January.
February.
February?
January 13th.
January 13th.
January
13th. Oh.
And what book is this? This is the one that you unveiled the art at FC3, is that?
No, that's coming in April.
Okay.
So I have War of Hearts, which is the Sicarius Security Book 4 in January. We have Angel's Gambit, which is Wings of Deceit Book 1 in April. And then it should be Flames of Conflict, which is Book 5 and the final book in the Sicarius series in September.
Wow.
Oh, so I have to go January and then September?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We'll find things for you to do.
I've got plenty of other books for you to read in between.
It's
yeah.
That's amazing.
Ashley's going Sanguine Crown is finished, so you can read that while I'm waiting.
Yep.
There we go. All right, musers. And so we're going to wrap up at this point, but I want to thank you for your time, Susan. We're looking forward to talking to you again in the future, hopefully, because as more books come out, we want to check in and see how you're doing.
And Melanie was right. Book 2 was not tame. Oh, great. Definitely not tame.
Yes, these
The
are
book-
not
the
these are
book-
not slated for Disney. Let's
no,
just say.
no.
It's very tame.
No.
It has been so wonderful spending some time with you tonight, Susan. I appreciate it. It was wonderful to see you.
Thanks
We
for
hope
having
to
me,
catch
guys. I hope to be back at FC3 again next year.
Absolutely no. That we'll make. There's two
Just
members.
figure out how to get back here.
Yeah. You get back to the country, we'll put you in a booth. It'll be fine. We'll work it out. It'll be wonderful. All right. So you take care. You have a great night, and thank
Bye,
you once
everyone.
again. Oh man, that was so much fun.
It was fun.
She's so cool.
She's so cute.
She's
Cousin.
now you do a Lilo and Stitch impression. Anyway, all right, friends. That's basically everything we have for you tonight. I'm not sure who we're going to interview next week. Maybe Greg. We'll go through the whole house.
Well, he's making resin stuff, so
So
we can get his perspective on
exactly
staying living with these two for
Exactly.
3 months.
That's amazing. That would be amazing. But if you have things you would like us to look into, any movies, any books, any TV series that you would want us to take a look at and get you some information about, feel free to go to that previously mentioned stuff.
Melanie, oh my God, Greg.
The address to track us down on Facebook, reach out to us. We'll be happy to look into stuff for you because as we learn things, we share it with you because we love to do stuff like that. So for Tanya, for Susan, for Melanie, for Greg, and for Juno, and for myself, you guys have a great week. Have a safe week, and we will talk to you again next week. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye-bye.